Next item is 9E, City Charter. Mr. King, I think you asked for that.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everyone. So good to see so many beautiful faces. I'm going to be very brief. Just talking real briefly about the city charter. And I'm referring to Article 4, Section 4.7, the council manager relationship. And it states, the council shall hold the city manager responsible for the proper management of the affairs of the city, and the city manager shall keep the council informed of the conditions and needs of the city, and shall make reports and recommendations as may be requested by the council or deemed necessary by the city manager. And I'll say this: it is our job as elected officials to hold the city manager responsible for everything that happens in this city. Everything. But the buck stops at this dais. This is where the buck stops at. And whenever the morale of our city employees is low and nothing is done about it, after we've constantly tried to work with the manager about it and nothing isn't done, we have a serious problem and the whole entire city suffers. And I will not sit back idle any longer and allow this to continue to happen. And that's why at this time I make a motion that we terminate the city manager's contract effective immediately.
Have a motion?
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Speaker?
We have a city manager that does more for this city and has done more for this city in the 10, 11, 12 years he's been here, however long it is. And for somebody to come up and try and terminate him is absolutely unconscionable. Rich Olson has done nothing but love this city and do good things for people. Just because he's not warm and fuzzy like everybody wants, or some people want him to be, we all can't be warm and fuzzy. I'm not warm and fuzzy either, just in case you hadn't noticed. We put one thing on delay or on table tonight so that everybody could be here to hear about this issue, whatever it was. I'm sorry, I don't have the whatever it was we tabled so that everybody could be here. Well, I think we should not hear a matter as crucial as this and as critical as this without everybody here as well. What's fair is fair.
Thompson?
With that lead in, I make a motion to table action on this until the full council can meet.
Second.
Have a motion to table.
Mr. Mayor, there's a motion on the floor already. Can we call for the motion, for the question?
Can't call the question.
Procedural motion.
Amendment?
It's a procedural motion. Call the table's procedural motion. You can't call the question that everyone hasn't heard in 20 minutes. So we have a motion to table and a second. All those in favor of tabling it, raise your hand. Those opposed? Okay. The motion fails. Any other discussion? Mr. King, is this motion
Excuse me,
made?
Mr. Mayor, my hand is up.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Mr. Thomas?
Saw this train leaving the roundhouse a long time ago. It's been a battle by a certain clique in this city to get rid of Mr. Olson for quite some time. But obviously convinced enough people that it's the right time to do it. Put things in perspective, this city has received over $60 million in grants. That's had significant infrastructure improvements, etc. Some of the issue that's being brought up that deals with the handling of personnel matters one member of council has asked that the mayor involve himself and help Mr. Olson resolve this. That is ongoing. I would hope that we would have waited until the results of that were done before we moved any other steps. The reality is that we have some rather major initiatives pending for the city. Council is fully aware. The rest of you won't be privy. I can tell you that Mr. Olson's presence and involvement could be critical. If he's not here, it could be a deal breaker. We're talking a significant number of job creation in this city. To that end, and looking at the thing on balance, I had my issues with Rich, and he knows what they are. I haven't always been pleased with the answers I've gotten, the timeliness of the response, but in the overall scheme of life, when you ask yourself, you know, where are we at and where are we going and what needs to be done, it's clear to me that Mr. Olson needs to remain as our city manager. I'm not sure what specific event is so egregious that our council member believes it's important to fire the city manager. I haven't seen that. Are we working to a solution? I think so. And again, I would echo what Ms. Baker said. I thought it was interesting. We had an item up in our work session to discuss remote participation by council members. That was the issue that was tabled because one of the members isn't here. Yet on an issue as important as terminating the city manager, we can't offer that person the same consideration to be part of this. Ms. Hummer is the longest serving city councilor on city council. She's the grand dame of Elizabeth city politics, if you will. This is an issue that if anybody can speak to, she can speak to. And I find it interesting that we want to run this train down the track without even bothering to check in with everybody here. As Ms. Baker said, this is a pretty momentous decision. So I have to wonder what's motivating it. But that's all I'll say.
Mr. Mayor, call for the question.
It has been, so people haven't been heard. Stone?
I think it's very important for this council and this city to look at the big picture and not micromanage what's going on and think that we know best. We have major projects under construction right now in the city. We have major grant applications that are about to be submitted to bring more money into the city. It just doesn't happen. We need a full-time city manager to make it happen. Do you realize how long it takes to try to identify and locate another city manager with the expertise and background that the city manager we currently have? Do you realize what the severance package is if we proceed with this process? I think we're making a major mistake if we vote in favor of the motion that's on the floor. I think Mr. Olson has done a superb job in the city. He's been very committed. He knows what's going on. Sure, he's a pain in the neck at times, but he also knows what's going on. And if you ask him what's happening, he'll tell you. And we, once again, prayed before this meeting. And I wonder where that prayer went. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Spence?
Since I've been on council, I've always prayed about decisions that I make
I've always also looked at the big picture, and I've always believed in practice fundamental fairness. I am the one that asked that the mayor and city manager meet or do what we asked them to do, and that has not been completed yet. It's in effect for sure, but it's not been completed as of yet. So I know that sometimes you make decisions and some people may not like it, some people may like it, but at the end of the day, when I look in the mirror, I gotta look at me, and I gotta live with me. That's it, Mr. Mayor.
Ms. Brooks?
Call for the question.
Okay. I want to say one thing before we do that. I would sort of echo what Mr. Steinmetz said a minute ago, that these people around this dais up here know about some things that are getting ready to happen in the city without Mr. Olson here. I really don't think will happen. And we're talking about a lot of jobs, and we're talking about a lot of opportunity for people here. I think this is a very ill-timed thing. Like Mr. Steinmetz, it's been pretty obvious that we've been moving in this direction. And I think it's a sad day for the citizens of Elizabeth City, and it's a sad day for the city council. Baker, do you have?
I just want to say that it's obviously personal, because if you vote for this motion, you don't give a damn what happens in Elizabeth City.
You're out of order.
You don't give a darn what happens in Elizabeth City.
Okay. Got a call for the question? All those in...
After roll call?
Roll call.
Okay. A roll call. Madam Clerk?
Yes. No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
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 Motion fails. The motion fails. Okay. All right, we have the last item on the agenda are comments and inquiries on non-agenda items. Ms. Brooks, do you have anything to say?
No comment?
Mr. Steinmetz?
No, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Horton?
No.
Mr. King?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, members of the public. The motion failed tonight, but I will continue to stand by what I believe. No lie shall live forever. No lie shall live forever. And I know that Councilwoman Baker said that this is a personal thing. This is not a personal thing. When I ran for office, I ran saying that I would fight for every citizen of Elizabeth City, and that includes the employees of this city. And anytime we have situations where our employees are not being treated fairly, I'm going to stand up, and I will continue to ask for the manager's resignation. Thank you. I will ask at every meeting. Thank you.
Ms. Baker?
I just want to wish my daughter a happy birthday on St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. And I'm glad I was there in Georgia to help her celebrate my firstborn. And March 17th on St. Patrick's Day, every time I can be with her, I will be with her.
Mr. Spence?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor. Like I said when I said earlier, I know that some people are going to be upset and some people may not be, and I'm fine, but every decision I make, there's a reason I make my decisions, and there's things that we have to do and we have to live with. I may not make everybody happy, but I stand for what I believe is right. For the employees, I will fight for the employees just like I have been. That has never stopped, and for a fact, and they know it. But when there's something that I have to live with, I have to live with it, nobody else. And that's what I'm saying.
Employees have to live with it too.
Ms. King, you're out of order. Mr. Donovan, any comments?
I just suggest that we have not adjourned yet, have we? We have not adjourned.
We have,
May I make note that 2 council people left the meeting before adjournment? I just hope that, you know, the council will continue to do its homework and pay attention to what's going on.
Okay.
Thank you.
If no further business, we are adjourned.